In the uncertain world of HTF scenarios, making wise decisions about alliances and assistance can mean the difference between survival and disaster. It's a world where resources are scarce, where every choice you make can have lasting consequences. You need to know who you can trust, who you can rely on when the chips are down. Imagine, for instance, you're in a situation where you have enough food and water for yourself and your family for a couple of weeks. Suddenly you're faced with the decision of whether or not to share your resources. The stakes are high. Every can of food, every drop of water you give away is one less for you and your loved ones. But what if that person could help guard your shelter or bring in additional resources? The question then becomes, is this person worth the risk? This is why alliances are so crucial. They can provide mutual benefit, a shared purpose, and an extra layer of security. But they can also pose significant risks. The wrong ally can drain your resources, compromise your safety, and even turn against you when you least expect it. That's why it's crucial to evaluate potential allies carefully. So what factors should you consider? You need to evaluate their reliability, their values, their skills, and their ability to contribute to your survival. It's not just about what they can offer you in the immediate term, but how they can support your survival in the long run. But it's not just about assessing others. You also need to evaluate yourself. What can you bring to an alliance? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Remember, in an alliance, you're not just taking, you're also giving. Building alliances is a delicate balancing act. It requires careful thought, strategic planning, and a keen understanding of human nature. It's about finding the right people, those who can help you survive and thrive in a SHTF scenario. But above all, it's about trust. Without trust, even the strongest alliance can crumble. Remember, in a SHTF scenario, every decision counts. Choose your allies wisely. High stakes are inherent in SHTF situations. Limited resources and compromised security are the realities we face. Picture this. You are in a world where the comforts of civilization have disappeared, replaced by a harsh reality where resources are scarce and security is a constant concern. Every decision you make, every alliance you form, every hand you extend in assistance is a gamble with potentially life-altering consequences. Understand this, when the proverbial *T hits the fan, the stakes couldn't be higher. Your food, your water, your medical supplies, your shelter, even your knowledge are precious commodities. They are your lifelines, your keys to survival. Giving them away carelessly without thought can spell disaster for you and your group. Think about it. Every person you decide to help is another mouth to feed, another body to shelter, another individual to share your resources with. And these resources, once depleted, are not easily replenished. The world outside your shelter is not a supermarket. It's a battleground where the fight for survival rages on. Now, this is not to say that you should turn your back on every needy soul. But it does mean that every decision to extend help should be a calculated one. You need to weigh the benefits against the risks. Will this person contribute positively to your group? Can they be trusted? Are they capable of pulling their weight? Remember, in the world of survival, there are no handouts. There are only investments. And these investments should ideally yield returns in terms of shared skills, manpower, or resources. And it is not just about resources, it's also about security. Every new person you let into your group is a potential threat. They could bring danger from outside or worse, pose a threat from within. So trust becomes a crucial factor. Trust in these times is as valuable as any resource you have. So think hard. Think smart. Remember, the stakes are high. One wrong decision, one misplaced trust, one uncalculated act of kindness can put you and your group at risk. In the world of survival, your choices can determine your fate. Trust is a rare commodity in a crisis. Knowing whom to trust can be a matter of life and death. In the chaotic landscape of a societal breakdown, trust is not a luxury, but a necessity. And like any valuable resource, it requires careful evaluation and judgment. Let's delve into the key criteria for trust. First and foremost, reliability is pivotal. Has this person proven themselves reliable in the past? Have they shown consistency in their actions and decisions? Remember, past behavior is often a good predictor of future behavior. Shared values are equally crucial. In a high-pressure situation, having a common understanding of what's right and wrong, fair and unjust, can help avoid debilitating conflicts and foster unity. Do they value cooperation over competition? Do they prioritize the group's well-being over individual gain? These are critical questions to consider. Next, assess complementary skills. In a survival situation, a diverse set of skills within a group can mean the difference between thriving and merely surviving. Does this person bring a unique skill set to the table? Maybe they're adept at hunting, or perhaps they're a whiz at mechanical repairs. These skills could prove invaluable when resources are scarce and survival is on the line. Now, it's important to bear in mind that trust isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. It's not about finding the perfect ally, but about gauging who would contribute positively to the group's overall survival chances. It's about recognizing that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and that a trustworthy ally is one who can leverage their strengths and acknowledge their weaknesses. In essence, trust is about understanding that in a crisis, your survival and the survival of your group is interconnected. It's about realizing that no man is an island and that the right allies can increase your chances of survival. Trust is about making the hard decisions, the smart decisions, and sometimes the unpopular decisions for the sake of survival. Evaluate carefully. The right allies can increase your chances of survival. Building a network before a crisis hits can be a lifesaver when emergencies arise. You see, the value of pre-established relationships is unparalleled. These relationships form a solid foundation of trust, a pillar of certainty in the volatile landscape of a SHTF scenario. It's not just about knowing people, it's about knowing the right people. People who share your values, who've proven their reliability, who possess skills that complement yours. These are the individuals you want in your corner when the going gets tough. So how do you strengthen these relationships? Well, it's all about communication and shared experiences. Spend time with these individuals, understand their strengths, share knowledge, and work on survival strategies together. And don't forget to form new alliances within your prepping community. Remember, a strong network can be your best defense. It's not just about surviving, but thriving. And a robust network of reliable allies can make all the difference. Not everyone is as they seem. Recognizing red flags can prevent disaster. We're shifting gears now to talk about the warning signs to watch out for. These are indicators that someone might not be trustworthy or could be potentially harmful in a crisis situation. Inconsistency can be a significant red flag. If someone's actions don't align with their words, or they're prone to changing their story, it's a sign that they may not be reliable. Trust is built on consistency, so pay close attention to this trait. Selfishness is another warning sign. In a survival situation, everyone needs to pull their weight and contribute to the group. If someone consistently puts their needs above the group's or refuses to share resources, they may not be the best person to align with. A history of dishonesty is a big red flag. Trust is a vital component in a survival situation. If someone has a habit of lying or cheating, it's likely they'll continue that behavior when the pressure is on. Now, it's important to remember that people can change, especially in high-stress situations. Someone who's been selfish or dishonest in the past might step up in a crisis, but you can't bank on that. You need to make decisions based on the information you have at hand. So, what do you do if you spot these warning signs? First, don't ignore them. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, there's probably a reason for it. Second, don't rush into any decisions. Take your time to observe and gather more information. And finally, remember that it's okay to say no. You don't have to let everyone into your group. Your number one priority is the safety and well-being of yourself and your team. In a crisis, trust is more than just a nice to have. It's a matter of life and death. So be discerning. Look for the red flags. And remember, it's okay to put your safety first. Stay vigilant and remember your safety is the priority. In a crisis, the balance between empathy and pragmatism can be a tightrope walk. Humanitarian impulses are natural. We want to help, to extend a hand, to share our resources. But in a world where every can of food, every bottle of water, every moment of peace can be the difference between life and death, these impulses must be weighed against practical survival considerations. The tension is palpable. On one hand, the desire to help is a part of who we are. On the other hand, the need to prioritize our well-being and that of our immediate group is paramount. It's a difficult balance to strike, but we must remember that empathy does not equate to naivety. Helping others should not compromise our survival or the survival of our group. We can be compassionate, but we must also be vigilant. Survival isn't just about resources, it's about making tough choices. Preparedness is more than just gear and supplies. It's about having a plan. Indeed, a plan is like the blueprint of your survival strategy. It takes into account your strengths, weaknesses, and resources, and outlines how you intend to use them in a crisis. While we've discussed the importance of alliances, trust, and empathy in a shit-hits-the-fan scenario, It's now time to consider how you can develop a personalized strategy that aligns with your survival priorities. Firstly, take some time to identify your core values. What are the principles you're not willing to compromise on, even in the face of adversity? Perhaps it's honesty, loyalty, or integrity. These core values will guide your decisions and help you determine whom to align with when the going gets tough. Next, consider your unique strengths and how they can contribute to survival. Perhaps you're a skilled medic, an excellent hunter, or a master at negotiation. Recognizing your strengths allows you to understand how you can contribute to a group and what you can trade for assistance and resources. Now, let's talk boundaries. It's important to determine what lines you're not willing to cross, even in dire situations. These boundaries will help you maintain your humanity and resist the pressures that can lead to morally questionable decisions. After that, think about the kinds of emergencies you're most likely to face. Are you preparing for natural disasters, societal collapse, or something else entirely? Understanding your most likely threats can help you tailor your strategy to those specific situations. Lastly, consider how you'll handle ambiguous situations. There are bound to be times when the right course of action isn't clear. Developing a process for making tough decisions can be invaluable during these moments. This might involve consulting with trusted allies, weighing the pros and cons, or taking time to reflect before acting. Remember, this strategy isn't set in stone. It's a living document that should evolve as you gain more knowledge, experience, and resources. A solid plan can be your compass in the storm of a SHTF scenario. With a well-thought-out strategy, you can navigate the chaos with confidence, knowing you have a plan that aligns with your values and priorities.